Hey everyone, Jay and Vin back here for another video to kind of recap what we found a couple weeks ago when we did the physical assessing with everyone in the group. So we have written here a profile, if you will, of the group that we have at hand within CFR at this moment. So some of this is obviously reflecting the physical assessment, we'll get into that, but it's also reflecting what we see and what we found going through consultations with everyone and doing mobility assessments with everyone before they start our program. So what we have found as the norms within the group is physical assessment wise, we're looking at level 1 to 2 is kind of where everyone's sitting right now, and that's across all 6 movement categories. From an age standpoint, we're looking around mid-30s. Lifestyle-wise, a lot of folks that are here are seated for most of the day, probably at a desk. Family people, so raising kids and with that small family, and then living that busy lifestyle that we all kind of know so well. The goals within the group are based primarily around fat loss and strength gain, and most people use the term either like general fitness or just getting in better shape. So that's kind of what we're looking at from a goals standpoint. And then limitations wise, we see a lot of folks that have some overhead restriction, have restriction within the hips, and then definitely seeing some right to left imbalances across the board. So we wanted to give you a little bit of a detail on what we see as a whole right now, and obviously this isn't every single person, but this is the majority and the average. And then we also wanted to kind of show you how that's going to be reflected within the program and how we're going to try to make our group program the best it can be for each person, even though everyone is different. So Vince is going to highlight that a little bit here.
All right, guys, always trying to improve, and this is how we're going to improve the group programming. So what our days is, we've kind of done a little bit of this in the past, and this is how we're going to move forward in the future. This will just be an example workout, 1 and part 2. Part 1 being a strength training session, and we're going to focus on the movement category bending. We're going to take 10 minutes during that time, and each level is going to do their 10 minutes just a little bit differently. So what's going to happen is if you're a level 1 person, means you passed waiter's bow. We're going to continue working on that glute strength, so we're going to go every minute on the minute, 5 to 7 glute bridges. If you're a level 2 person, as you can see, we're going to go every 2 minutes, and we're going to work on a 5-rep deadlift. That would be light to moderate loads, increasing throughout your sets. Level 3 plus, you're going to take the 10 minutes and you're going to work up to a heavy power clean. So as you can see, we hit some different varieties of movements here based on your level, broke that 10 minutes up to make it as appropriate as possible for each person. Part number 2 is an 8-minute AMRAP. We're going to do 5 double legs reps and then 10 calories on the rower. Level 1 will be a kneeling chest pass. You'll do 5 reps of that. Level 2 is you'll do 5 wall balls. And then level 3 is you'll do 5 thrusters. And so you'll cycle through the 5 reps of the double leg and the 10 reps on the calories of the rower, making that workout just a little bit more appropriate for each individual level. With that being said, it's going to be super important that you know where you are, and it's going to help by filling out your progress report. Once again, that will be coming out every 3 months, so make sure you're filling that out, keeping up to date with your data and how you're improving. That will also help us figure out how the group is improving overall. As the group gets better, then the programming will look differently as the group improves as well. But ultimately, we're improving the group, but best way to get some fitness in is
an individual program, right? And so we've talked about that before, and we're actually going to highlight more into the individual programming side of things in our next video and kind of give you some more detailed information about that. But when we talk about individual programming, myth number 1 that we need to get out of the way is that individual programming is only for people who have a really high fitness or who are very serious about their fitness, or it's only for people who have a lot of injuries or restriction, because that's not the truth. All an individual program is it's a program that's written for you based on all these things. So it's not written about everyone's physical assessment, it's just written for your physical assessment and for your lifestyle and all these different pieces. So if you do want that individual attention with your program, we can do that for you. You just need to talk to us and we'll get that going. Until that time, or for now, on the lookout for a little bit of a change here. And again, this is what we believe is the best possible thing we can do for the group as a whole without getting into individual programming for every single person.
All right, guys, please like and subscribe to the videos. More to come.
All right, send your questions at us and we'll be looking forward to training you in the future.